morning, everyone. This is how our morning is start. Very foggy and very cold. Have to pick up some kale. We're gonna make some soup since welcome, friends, to my kitchen. It's a very foggy day, cold, very cold today. And as we are done with the holidays, we have leftovers. I have a bone of a ham that was cooked, and I'm gonna make some soup. So it's a perfect day today for soup. And that's what I'm gonna do today. So I'm getting all my vegetables all ready. Wherever I had in the fridge that needs to be cleaned out is going in. I have celery, I have carrots, I have cabbage and sweet potato, regular potatoes, and I'm just gonna make a good filling soup. If you don't have a ham, you can always bone smoked bone and make the same soup, or just leave it out if you don't like it. Anyway, so that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm taking all my Christmas decorations. My house is so naked. I don't know where anything is. I was telling my husband yesterday that I don't know where I put none of my decorations that I had before. I've looked everywhere, and I go, I don't know where I put them. Usually when I take the decorations and put my Christmas, I put my regular everyday decorations in the same box that I took the Christmas. So when I go put them back, I know where everything is, but I guess not. So anyway, so that's another thing I gotta do today, is put my house back to order. We were supposed to be in Idaho with our grandsons, but it's been so many storms, and it's a 12-hour drive, actually 11 hours. But we decided we better not go, because then my husband wouldn't have no way to get him back to work, which is a bummer. We were all looking for, and we had rented a house. We were all excited, and now we're not going anywhere. We're staying home. So that's why I got to clean up what I have, because I didn't shop after Christmas. I didn't shop anymore because we were going to go to Idaho. So now I got to use what I have, and then have to go back to the grocery store. So anyway, I hope you all had a blessed New Year's, and that the new year coming will be better than the one we had before. I can't complain what I had. I had a great year with good health. All my family was well, so that's a good thing. Anyway, so I had some potatoes were looking pretty, not looking too good, but I was able to save some of them. So that's what we're gonna do. Use what we have. And I think I'm gonna make some popsicles or some kind of easy bread. I'm making sourdough for Friday, but we need some bread for this, and I'm not going to the grocery store get French bread. I'm just gonna make it. It'll be easier. It's so foggy. This morning I couldn't even see the end of my street, and my street is not very long. I live in a cul-de-sac, so It's very short straight, but I couldn't see the end of it. I could barely see my neighbors. There's things I don't care for, wind and fog. Of course, now put snow. I don't think I could handle the snow either. The slippery and all that. But anyway, so we're gonna do the best we can, and then hopefully we can make our trip to go see our grandsons, because they were counting on us going. But there's another storm coming today or tomorrow or tonight and then tomorrow. So I told my husband, we better not, because then we won't be able to come back for him for work. So anyway, I had 2 sweet potatoes. I'm gonna put them in, and then I have plenty of kale. One aboard. I had one kale stalled that broke with the wind. We had very windy last week, so I took it out, and well, that's what I'm going to use today. Okay, I'm going to chop all these vegetables, and then we'll make an easy soup with some ham hock, or the bone of a ham. My husband loves ham, so I always try to get it, so because he likes it. I'm not much for ham, but I like the bone, because then I can make some soup. And I'm going to share this soup with a friend that is not feeling good. So seems like a lot of vegetables that I'm cooking for cutting for just us. I'm going to share this with a friend. Okay. I'll show you when they're all cut. Okay, friends, I got bacon fat that I'm going to start rendering on my pot. I have 1 whole onion that I'm going to finely dice, and then 4 cloves of garlic. That's a basic for any soup. If you make this your base for your soup, you will have a delicious soup no matter what. And if you don't have bacon fat, you can always use olive oil or any kind of oil that you use. But I save my bacon fat when I cook bacon. So, okay. Got 1 whole onion. It goes in. Then I have 4 large cloves of garlic. Mince the garlic. It will disappear in the soup, but mince it finely. When I have soup at home, I don't want nothing else. My husband is not much for soup, but I am. I got up this morning, then I remember I had that bonus soup, had that ham bone that I need to use it. It has still a lot of ham. I'm going to take the ham, as much ham as I can. Then I'm going to chop it and put it back in the soup. Or you can use it for omelets or whatever your heart desired. I'm going to put it in the soup. Okay. Put it in there. I'm going to saute this onion until they're soft. Okay, I'm gonna put 1 bay leaf. I don't care very much for the flavor of bay leaf, but 1 is good enough. And some Italian seasoning. About a teaspoon. Okay. I have chicken stock, any kind of stock you have. I make my chicken stock. So okay. And now we're going to start adding our vegetables in batches because there is a lot of vegetables here. Got my kale. You might say, why don't you put in a bigger pot? Because if I put in a bigger pot, it's even going to get bigger. It will go down. I'm going to cover. Then I'll show you as I go along. Okay, I put all the vegetables in. I'm going to put 1 leaf of linguiça. And I'm not putting salt yet because that ham is salty. And I'm going to let this cover here and cook. And then we'll go from there. My soup has been cooking here for maybe about 15 minutes. I'm going to taste for salt. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Because if you don't add salt now, then all those vegetables are going to be unsalted. And when you add it, it won't get salted. It needs a little bit. So you put however salt you like. Okay? I'm going to let this continue cooking here. At least now I know those vegetables are salted. I'm going to partially cover. Okay, friends. I'm going to remove the bone. This is my favorite part. Is chew on that bone. And then I'm going to put, this is all the ham that came out of there. I'm going to put it all in here. So it's going to be a very flavorful soup. Most of those vegetables that are all cooked. Now we're just going to heat it through this, the ham. Let it flavor a little bit more of the soup. I'm going to taste for salt again. That's it. Just right. Okay. I'm going to let this here, and my soup is done. My bread is in the oven on proof. When I was cooking my soup, I cleaned up my fridge. It's clean, organized. Are you like me? When it comes to the new year, I gotta go through cleaning. So I took everything out of the fridge, especially with the holidays. You just keep putting stuff. You don't know what falls behind or anything. I cleaned the whole fridge. But when it comes to the new year, I need to go through drawers, everything. Do you do the same thing? I don't know why. I don't know if it was something my mom, I don't remember if my mom did that, but I want to go to the New Year's with everything clean. I've put all my Christmas stuff. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. I put all my Christmas stuff away. Today, I'm just gonna go through and clean everything. So that's why I wanted to start this soup early this morning so I don't have to worry for dinner. And it's done. I'll show you when it's all finished. And I'm gonna put a little bit of estrelinha. It's a little pasta. It's little pebbles, like little stars. My mom used to always put it in soup, and I like it. It thickens the soup. The broth gets a little bit thicker, and it gives a more body to the soup. Okay? So I'm just gonna let this simmer here for maybe about 10 minutes, not even. That won't take long to cook, and my soup is done. Okay, I'll show you when it's all complete. Here it is, my soup. It's a big pot of soup. I'm gonna make a basic bread. I have 2 tablespoons of instant dry yeast. I have 2 cups of warm water. I need 2 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of flour. And I'm gonna mix it. And we're gonna let this bloom here. This is just a basic bread, nothing special. Okay? I'm gonna let this sit here for a few minutes. Okay, my yeast is already blooming. I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of butter, and I have a cup and a half. This is a cup and a half. I'm thinking maybe 4 cups of flour, and we'll see. This is bread flour, but you can use all-purpose flour. 3. And 4. And now I'm gonna mix, and then we're gonna see. I have more water here if I need to. I need to add some salt. I'm adding a teaspoon of fine salt or table salt. Okay? And mix that. And that's how it is. Okay? You just want to combine all these ingredients together. I'm going to cover this here for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to give a hand. Friends, it's been 15 minutes. Look how my bread is already. And we're going to do some flips. And the flips is what's going to pull that gluten. And we're going to know if we need to add more liquid or more flour. We don't. So I'm just going to do some flips. This is how I do on my sourdough bread. Okay, I'm gonna put this into a smaller bowl, and I'm gonna put it in the oven on proof so it comes faster. So maybe we still have bread for lunch. I'm gonna spray some oil in my bowl so it won't stick. And I'm gonna put this into this bowl. Okay? I'm gonna cover and keep in the oven for about an hour or until it doubles in size. Okay, friends, Here it is, my bread. Looks beautiful. It was in the oven on proof for about 45 minutes, okay? I put some corn flour, Portuguese corn flour, but you can use all-purpose flour. That's what my mom used to use. Get your hands wet. I'm gonna remove this from the sides. Okay, and I'm just gonna bring all these together. And then I'm gonna make like a baguette. And put it in my cookie sheet. I'm gonna make 2 of those. And then maybe the other ones, I'll make them into little popsicles. Okay, and these are gonna rest here for at least maybe 20 minutes till they rise the second time. So it's really nice because it's full of bubbles. Okay. I'm gonna cut them into little popsicles. All of them together and then leave it aside. There's many ways of making popsicles, how you shape them. I never shape mine the same way. So, okay. So now, I put them in a palm of my hand and I kind of shape them rounded. That's the fastest way for me. It's these. And then I have this. I'm gonna cover and let it rise here for 20 minutes. Okay friends, my bread came out. Because it was too soft, it just became flat, but that's okay. And I can't resist not having a popsicle with some butter. And this, for me, it's even better because I don't like too much mule or the middle. I like more the crust. So this is perfect. See? It was too soft, but that's okay. Tastes good the same way. Anyway, so I made bread. I made soup, and I made apple galette. So I have dinner and dessert. That's to finalize my new year. Finalize my old year and start my new year. I'm already cleaning my stove. My refrigerator is done. So, this is so good. This is butter. We can find it, but it's about 30 minutes away to go get Portuguese butter. But this is the closest. Grass-fed butter. I buy at Costco. Anyway, this is my lunch. I had a bowl of soup and some popsicles. And that's gonna be my dinner. Until next time, have a blessed, happy new year. And with good health and peace and love, that's all we need in this world. Have a good one. Thank you. Cleaning up the refrigerator, I had 4 apples, 3 Granny Smiths and 1 gold apple. I need to get rid of it. And I'm gonna make a dessert last minute. I put 2 tablespoons of butter in here. And I peeled my apples. I peeled them and sliced them in small. I have 1 leftover pie crust in the fridge. And I'm gonna do something with it. I don't know if I wanna make a galette or if I wanna make like turnovers. We'll see. Okay. I'm gonna put some brown sugar, maybe half a cup brown sugar. A teaspoon more or less of cinnamon. Well, maybe 4 tablespoons of butter, more like it. I just want to make like a caramel sauce. Just melt that butter with that sugar. A little bit of vanilla extract. I'm going to pour all the apples. And on low, I'm going to keep mixing these apples till they're almost soft. I'm going to add a little bit of a kick. I'm going to get a little bit of brandy. Okay, I'm going to turn off the stove and a little bit of brandy. Turn the stove back on. And they're gonna flambe. You be careful when you do this. So let the alcohol cook. See? It's gonna cook those apples. And in no time you make a dessert with what you got. Now we're gonna let this cook in. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt, just because I always like sweet and salty, and it's gonna bring out the sweetness of the apples, of the sugar. Okay. And now we're gonna let this cook until all that water evaporates. We don't want all that liquid. Okay? Okay, my apples, they're soft. Most of the liquid is gone. I'm just gonna turn it off and we're gonna let this cool before I put it in that pastry or in that crust. Okay? So all it's left is a little bit of still of that syrup. It's gonna thicken as this cools. Okay, friends, I wanted this to be a little bit thicker and it's not thickening up. So I'm gonna put a teaspoon or a tablespoon of cornstarch into I drained some of the liquid into a bowl and I put some cornstarch and I'm mixing. Okay, and then I'm going to put this back to with the apples and let it thicken. Okay, just move it around. You don't need to turn the stove on. You just want to coat all those apples with that, and it will thicken as we put it on the pastry or on the crust. Okay, as this cools now, it's going to cook and it's gonna thicken. Sometimes depend how much sugar you put and how watery is your apples. These are things I make up as I go along, okay? And if you have extra of this, I mean, this is enough for this pastry, for this, if you don't have pie dough, this is one sheet of pie dough. You can always use to puff pastry. It's also very good with this. I just need this to completely cool before I put it here, because if I put it, it's gonna soften this butter and then it's gonna be a mess. So I'm just gonna let this cool, and it's gonna, that cornstarch is gonna absorb that flour, the juice. Okay, friends, I am going to scoop my apples into my pastry, and I'm using a slotted spoon so I kind of control how much liquid I add to my pastry. I mean, there's not much here, but I don't know if I need all of it, and I might. Okay. Yeah, there's not much. And then what I do, just put everything in the center, and then I'm just gonna fold a little border over all this, and it will keep all those juices in there. Okay, I have my oven preheated at 350. I'm gonna brush this with some an egg wash, and then put some sugar on top. Okay, I'm gonna brush with some egg wash all this, and then I'm gonna put some of this carbonado sugar, raw sugar, whatever you, over the pastry. And it's what it's gonna do is it's gonna crisp up that, give a crunch to the pastry. Okay, and this is gonna bake maybe about 30 minutes. And I made a dessert in no time, and I used those apples that were going bad. See? Here is my apple galette. Took out of the oven just a few minutes ago, and let it cool off, and in no time I made a dessert.